So renting versus buying. Why renting is more beneficial? So, renting versus buying. Your water heater bursts in the middle of the night and water is going everywhere. If you own your home, you're on your home. If you're a renter, you just pick up the phone and call your landlord and have them take care of it. Renting can be just as beneficial, if not more, than buying a home. Being a realtor in the Lubbock market, who specializes in property management for the past 5 years, has given me insight on how renting can be better than investing, can be a better investment than buying a home. Renting a home has more benefits and buying a home has more downfalls. Buying is permanent, renting is flexible, buying is costly, renting is budget friendly, buying is hard to get approved for, and renting is fairly easy to get approved for. So, buying is not as beneficial as someone might think. Buying is permanent, it can be costly, and it's not easy to get approved for financing. Buying a home is not so permanent that you can't sell your home and move anytime that you want, but it does require much time and effort. Also, you have to make sure you have some equity in your home, or when you go to closing, you won't get anything, and much worse, you'll have to pay money to get rid of your home. According to CNBC's, it's better to rent than buy in today's economy. Renting is a better investment because payments to own a property have skyrocketed due to the value of homes increasing drastically. We've seen that in the Lubbock market. As recently as 2016, someone could purchase their starter home or an investment property for $100,000. In today's market, those same homes are actually $125,000 to $140,000. So you can see how drastic the market is getting. Owning a home can be expensive. I manage 200 properties, and on any given day, I get 10 to 15 maintenance requests. Anything is ranging from a garbage disposal to plumbing that is collapsing due to the house settling. The owners I work for sometimes don't even get their rent payment due to the maintenance that I've had to do for their house that month, which means that they have to come out of pocket to pay the mortgage on top of all of that. One of the hardest, most frustrating things to get approved for is a mortgage loan. According to FinancialSamurai.com, and since 2009, the government has put very strenuous regulations on qualifying criteria to avoid another huge housing crash like the one in 2008, which occurred due to the qualifications being too laxed and people who did get those mortgage loans automatically foreclosing pretty immediately. Another reason it's so hard to get approved for a mortgage loan is due to money in savings, money on hand, and your debt-to-income ratio. If you owe more than 30% of what you make a month to bills, you're automatically disqualified because you're a liability. If they do decide to give you the loan, they will reduce the amount that you're approved for to make yourself accommodate, to make your debt-to-income ratio accommodate to what they want you to have. If you owe school loans, even if they're in forbearance or if they're in deferment, they count them towards your debt. If you're married and your spouse doesn't qualify for the house, they won't accept their income, but they will use their debt against you to qualify for the loan. Sometimes you don't realize how expensive it is to own a home, and how hard it is to purchase a home. With our budgets and our time being so constrained, it may not be beneficial to purchase a home if you don't have the extra money and time to devote to keeping up a house or even just to get your credit in line with the mortgage qualifications. Renting is a solid investment. Renting is budget friendly. It's more flexible for people who do not like to stay in the same place all the time, and it's easy to get approved for. Renting is very budget friendly. You can set your budget and forget about it. When something breaks in the house, you call your landlord to deal with it. There are no taxes or any other mandatory fees involved. Renting is more flexible than purchasing. Most leases are 6 to 12 months. If you decide that you want to move clear across town or even clear across the nation, all you have to do is put in a 30-day notice to vacate and start planning for the rest of your life. There are no strings attached. Also, if you decide to stay in the same rental for more than 1 year, all you have to do is renew your lease or go month to month until you decide to move. I have been the transaction coordinator for our company for the past 3 years. In that time, I have seen a handful of people get denied, and most of the time that's due to them being deceitful on their application. Most owners and property managers are willing to try to work with someone who puts in their application rather than leave the house on the market. Some will ask for a higher deposit, and some might even ask for a cosigner to get you approved. I know most people, especially my fellow realtors, will tell you that buying a home gives you something to leave behind. It's your first step to investing. It's your first step to investing and setting yourself up for the future. And that can be true, but also if you don't have a written will, your house may not go to your heirs. If you owe taxes or if you owe the mortgage on that particular property, the state will take your house. The market can be unpredictable, so you can't tell what's going to happen in the far future. When you finish paying off that property, if your house may not be worth as much as you think it was or how much you paid, and so by the time that you finish paying it off, it could be less than half of what you actually paid for the entire note. So when you go to sell it, you don't get anything out of it. When you consider whether you should rent or buy, I would look closely to the intricate details to decide if you are able to afford purchasing, if you're able to keep up with the house maintenance, or if you're even able to qualify for a mortgage loan. If you are anything like me, school loans have taken up residency on my credit report. And I have much work to do to get in the position to buy a home. Also, with limited time between work and school and family, I cannot maintain a home, and remembering to pay the taxes and insurance would really set me back. Renting a home has many benefits, and buying a home has many downfalls. Buying is permanent, renting is flexible, buying is costly, and whereas renting is more budget friendly. Buying is hard to get approved for, and renting is fairly easy to get approved for. Don't be the homeowner who wakes up at 3 in the morning with a flooded house due to a leaking water heater, calling the plumber and having to pay a $1,500 bill. Be the tenant who wakes up at 3 in the morning to call your landlord and have them foot the bill and take care of it for you. Renting can be just as beneficial as buying a home, if not even more. When you consider whether you should rent or buy, I hope this presentation has given you some insight as to whether you should rent instead of buy.
Thank you.